Welcome back to basic course in Maithili. Now we are into lesson number 6.4 where in this lesson we are going to talk about again possessive pronouns and learn it through a conversation and also learn about how negation would work within sentences that have possessive pronouns. So, let us first go with the possessive pronouns and negation, because earlier we were talking about simple sentences and negation was not there. So, we would also be using the negation to know about how negation works within simple sentences. So, possessive pronouns basically indicate ownership, while negative constructions express what is not the case or what is being negated. This lesson introduces how possession and negation work together in Maithili, with attention to structure as well as social context. In Maithili, we can express both possession and negation within the same sentence, which is usual, commonly found across all the languages. Let us say, for example, we can say हमर किताब टेबल पर नहीं है. So, here हमर is the possessive marker and nahi is used to negate the existence of the book on the table. So, how do we add negation? We simply use nahi or nahi, as we had already discussed in the previous lessons. It is placed just before the verb. So, हमर किताब टेबल पर अछि is a simple sentence, and if you negate it, it will become हमर किताब टेबल पर नहीं अछि. So, here nahi or nahi makes the sentence negative. So, let us revise some of the sentences that we had seen in the previous sentences and how negation is being used. So, here you see हमर किताब टेबल पर नहीं अछि, which means my book is not on the table. So, in this sentence you have seen हमर which has been boldened, and it means हमर किताब is a single phrase and nahi is the negation marker. Next sentence is हमर किताब टेबल पर नहीं राखल अछि or नहीं राखल अछि. My book is not kept on the table. तोहर किताब टेबल पर नहीं छौ. That means your book is not on the table. Then तोहर किताब टेबल पर नहीं छ or नहीं छ, which is again the same thing, but it is addressed to someone who is senior. अहाँ किताब टेबल पर नहीं अछि. So, again your, but it is honorific. Then अपने किताब टेबल पर नहीं अछि. Your book is again not on the table. Next, एकर किताब टेबल पर नहीं छै. So, it is basically his or her book is not on the table. हिनकर किताब टेबल पर नहीं छन्. That means it is referring to someone who is honorific. ओकर किताब टेबल पर नहीं छै. Again it becomes non-honorific for someone who is at a distance. Then हुनकर किताब टेबल पर नहीं छन्. Again it is honorific. एकर किताब फाटल नहीं छै. Again the same thing, non-honorific. ओकर मोबाइल खराब नहीं छै. Non-honorific and remote. हुनकर कुर्ता पियर नहीं छन्. So, again the same thing, but it is honorific. हिनकर खिस्सा बहुत सुंदर नहीं होइत छन्. हमर घर पर आमक गाछ नहीं छै. हमरो घर पर आमक गाछ नहीं छै. Now, here we used the emphatic one, the inclusive emphatic one, saying that the mango tree is not even at my house. तोहर खेत एकदम चौकोर नहीं छ. अहाँक चश्मा बेसी नीक होइत. अहाँक चश्मा बेसी नीक नहीं अछि. अहाँक चश्मा बेसी नीक नहीं अछि. अपने के कुर्सी के एकटा टांग टूटल नहीं अछि. Now you see here, अपनेक कुर्सीक. So अपनेक is the possessive marker which is attached to the word kursi, which means chair, and then kursi again has a possessive marker ka. So अपनेक कुर्सीक एकटा टांग टूटल नहीं अछि, which means one leg of your chair or one of the legs of your chair is not broken. Another sentence, तोरो किताब 100 पन्ना के नहीं छौ. अहाँक घर एतय नहीं अछि. अपनेक मोबाइल एतय नहीं अछि. ओकर घर बहुत पैघ नहीं छै. So here the word पैघ means big. हुनकर गाड़ी नया नहीं छनि. हिनकर बेटा एतय नहीं छनि. So here हिनकर is again honorific and the agreement marker changes to छनि and negative remains the same. एकर कपड़ा साफ नहीं छै. So those were some examples. Now if we put it all together, what becomes the structure of the sentence? So we need to use possessive pronoun plus object or whichever noun it is, and then nahi and verb. That would be the normal structure of a sentence having a possessive pronoun, subject or object, and then a verb. So अहाँक किताब टेबल पर नहीं अछि. So here अहाँक किताब becomes a noun phrase to which the possessive pronoun अहाँक has been attached. Table is the object and per is the postposition and nahi ach is the verb, where achi is the verb and nahi is the negative particle attached to it. Now let's go through a conversation.
सुप्रभात. आइ हम सब अपन घर साफ करब.
हाँ, हमर रूम सेहो बड़ गंदा अछि.
माँ चारू कतऽ छै?
चारू बाबूजी के कमरा में हेतौ. उनके कमरा में देखी पोछा सब बाथरूम लग अछि.
हमरा एकटा बाल्टी देखाइत दैत अछि. दोसर बाल्टी सब कतऽ छै?
एकटा बाल्टी बरामदा में अछि आ दूटा बाल्टी स्टोर रूम में अछि.
बाबूजी, अहाँके कुर्ता साफ अछि कि नहीं?
हमर कुर्ता तऽ साफ अछि, मुदा बौआ के कपड़ा सब गंदा अछि.
हनाया सो टेबल साफ कर. मीरा सो कुर्सी सब पोछ दही.
एहि कोठली में तऽ एकेटा कुर्सी अछि.
हाँ, मुदा भोजन कक्ष में 4टा कुर्सी छै. क्यों आग कमरा बहुत गरम अछि.
हाँ, अपने कनी जंगला खोलि दियो. एकटा जंगला खुजल अछि, मुदा दोसर जंगला सब बंद अछि.
हम सबटा जंगला खोलि दैत छी. अनाया, तोहर एकटा पोथी एहिठाम जमीन पर पड़ल छौ.
पोथी उठाकर रैक पर राखि दही.
ओकर रूमक एकटा पंखा चलि रहल अछि, मुदा दोसर पंखा बंद अछि.
हम पंखा के बंद कए दैत छी. बाबूजी, ई जूता सब किनकर छियनि?
माँ से पुछियौन. हमरा लगैया हुनकर छियनि.
भनसाघर में एकटा थारी गंदा अछि, मुदा बाटी सब धोअल अछि.
माँ ये, देखियो हमरा कथी भेटल. ई भाईजी किताब छियनि. उनकर नाम सेहो लिखल छनि एहि पर.
ओकर नाम लिखल छै तो ओकरे हेतै. अलमारी में राखि दही.
हम चम्मच सब साफ करैत छी.
बहुत नीक. जखन सब गोटे मदद करैत अछि तखन घर जल्दी साफ भऽ जाइत अछि.
हाँ, एकटा परिवार जखन मिल के काज करैत अछि तखन समस्या सब दूर भऽ जाइत अछि.
आप घर साफ अछि।
हाँ, सब कुतली सेहो चमकैत अछि।
गंदा घर खराब दिखाइत अछि, मुदा साफ घर सुंदर दिखाइत अछि।
बहुत बढ़िया। चलू आब अपना सब आराम करब।
Listen to the conversation cleaning the house. Now let's go through the sentences that we have seen in this conversation one by one. So in the first sentence, the mother says, Suprabhat, I हम सब अपन घर साफ करब. Now here, upon घर साफ करब, upon घर is basically the possessive thing, but it is dative one. Babuji is saying, हाँ हमर रूम से हो बड़ गंदा अछि. So here हमर room is the noun phrase which uses a possessive pronoun हमर, that is my room. Then Anaya says, or she asks, Ma झाड़ू कतय अछि? Katay is basically a question word which means where. Achi you already know, jharu is broom. So the whole sentence means, Mother, where is the broom? The mother says, झाड़ू बाबूजी के कमरा में है तो. हुनके कमरा में देखी. Now here you see, हुनके, it is exclusive. So don't look anywhere else, look inside his room. हुनके कमरा में देखी. Now देखी again has been used in agreement with the third person non-honorific pronoun. पोछा सब bathroom log अछि. English meaning is there, so I will not be speaking it. You can simply read through the screen and pause the video wherever you require. Next sentence, Meera says, हमरा एकटा बाल्टी देखाई दैत अछि. दोसर बाल्टी सब कतऽ छै और कतऽ अछि? Then Babuji says, एकटा बाल्टी बरामदा में अछि आ दूटा बाल्टी स्टोर रूम में अछि. Anaya says, बाबूजी अहाँक कुर्ता साफ अछि कि नहीं? So she is asking whether your kurta, ahank kurta, is clean or not. So here ahank is the possessive pronoun that has been used and attached to the word kurta. Babuji says, हमर कुर्ता त साफ अछि मुदा बौआ के कपड़ा सब गंदा अछि. So हमर kurta is the noun phrase where a possessive pronoun has been used, and there is one more possessive noun that has been used. You see, baua ke kapra. So here the word baua is basically a nickname usually given to a male child. Sometimes it is mainly meant for kids, but sometimes it remains even when the kids grow up. So baua ke kapra would mean the clothes of the little one or whoever it is. The mother says, Anaya, तो टेबल साफ कर, मीरा तो कुर्सी सब पोंछ दही. Now here, in both of the cases, the mother is talking to her two daughters, probably. So they are all junior to them and there is a very intimate relationship. So she is using the term to, and accordingly, the verb agreement has been made here. So Meera says, एही कोठली में त एकेटा कुर्सी अछि. The mother says, हाँ मुदा भोजन कक्ष में चारिटा कुर्सी छैक. यौ अहाँक कमरा बहुत गरम अछि. Now here again you have got the possessive nominal phrase अहाँक कमरा. In the next sentence, Babuji says, हाँ अपने कने जंगला खोली दियो. एकटा जंगला खुजल अछि मुदा दोसर जंगला सब बंद अछि. There is no possessive pronoun in this one. You can simply learn, read through it and learn through the English meaning provided. In the next sentence, हम सबटा जंगला खोल दैत छी. This is being said by Anaya. Again, this sentence does not have any possessive pronoun. But in the next one, where Meera says, Anaya तोहर एकटा पोथी ऐठाम जमीन पर पड़ल छो. Now, Meera and Anaya are sisters, so they have a very intimate and close relationship. That is why she is calling her by her name Anaya and then Tohar ekta pothi. Now, here you see the word, the possessive pronoun Tohar is used along with a classifier ekta, which means one, and pothi is book. So, Tohar ekta pothi makes a single noun phrase which acts as the subject of this sentence. Aitam is a word that is a demonstrative pronoun. We will learn about it later. Aitam basically means here, and Jameen is of course ground, per is for the postposition marker on, and Paral Chau. Both of these words are verbs where Paral is the main verb, Chau is the auxiliary. So, it is lying here. So, Anaya, it means Anaya, one of your books is lying here on the ground. Then Ma says, पोथी उठाकर रैक पर राख दही. Then Babuji says, ओकर रूमक एकटा पंखा चलि रहल अछि मुदा दोसर पंखा बंद अछि. Anaya says, हम पंखा के बंद कए दैत छी. Then Meera says, Babuji, ई जूता सब किनकर छियन. Now here you see the word kinkar. That is a question possessive marker. So it is asking whose. We will learn about it later. So it basically means ई जूता सब, that is these books all. Whose shoes are all these? Babuji says, माँ से पूछियन, हमरा लगैया हुनकर छियन. Ask mother, I think they are hers. Then Ma says, भंसा घर में एकटा थारी गंदा अछि मुदा बाटी सब धोवल अछि. So a dish in the kitchen is dirty but the bowls are washed. Now see here, bhansa ghar is basically kitchen, thari is dish, and bati basically means bowls. Dhowal is meant for cleaned ones. Anaya says, Ma yei, देखियो हमरा कथी भेटल. Now here you look at this thing, Ma yei. So Ma yei is basically a kind of a vocation, and she is showing respect to her mother, and that is why she is saying yei, Ma yei. देखियो हमरा कथी भेटल. See what I have found. ई भाईजी के किताब छियन. Now भाईजी would usually stand for someone, a brother who is elder. So भाईजीक would mean of elder brothers, and then kitab is of course book. So ई भाईजी के किताब छियन would mean this is brothers, elder brothers book. हुनकर नाम सेहो लिखल छन एहि पर. माँ says, ओकर नाम लिखल छै तो ओकरे हेतैक, अलमारी में राख दही. Now here again, ओकर नाम is the possessive nominal phrase where okar refers to his. That means he is referring to the child. We say the brother who is the son of the mother. Meera says, आ हम चम्मच सब साफ करैत छी. So I is basically meaning for and. Babuji says, बहुत नीक, जखन सब गोटे मदद करैत छथि तखन घर जल्दी साफ भ जाइत अछि. माँ says, हाँ, एकटा परिवार जखन मिल कऽ काज करैत छथि तखन समस्या सब दूर भ जाइत अछि। अनया says आब घर साफ अछि। मीरा says हाँ हाँ सब कोठली चमकैत अछि। एंड बाबूजी says happily गंदा घर खराब अछि मुदा साफ घर सुंदर देखाइत अछि। Now mother says बहुत बढ़िया चलो अब अपना सब आराम करब and then the conversation ends. Now let us look at some of the interrogative possessive pronouns in Maithili. We will learn more about it later on also, but because we may encounter some possessive pronouns as we go through the conversations, let us get first introduced to it. So, how do we ask questions about ownership, quantity and place? So, when you are saying what are they, in Maithili, interrogative possessive forms are used to ask questions like whose book is this? Of what is this made? How much is there? These are some of the questions that are usually asked in any language. How would we say this in Maithili? So, the key forms are common interrogative possessive words. So, here you have kecker, which would mean whose, which is non-honorific. Kinkar, which again means whose, but it is honorific if you know to whom it may belong. And then kathik would mean of what. Katek would mean how much. Kate or kaitam or sometimes even kontam would mean where. So, these words usually appear at the beginning of a question, but Maithili is a bit free word ordering, so it can be placed at some other places as well. So, how do we represent whose in Maithili? So, kecker versus kinkar is something of interest, we should pay attention to it. So, when we say kecker kitab achi, it means whose book is this, but it is informal and there we know that the person that we are referring to is someone to whom we are not showing any respect. And then when we say kinkar ghar ach or even kinkar kitab ach, whose house is this? So, here it means that we are showing some kind of a respect here. So, Maithili distinguishes respect levels even in questions where we do not know. So, we assume. So, based on assumption you need to use whether you are going to use kecker or kinkar. Asking about things and quantity. So, kathik and katik. So, e kathik banal ech. Of what is this made? And then ete katek pain ech. How much water is here? So, kathik is a question word that asks about material or relation, and then katek is a question word that asks about amount and quantity. Then how do we ask about places? So, we would say kate or kaitam. So, tohar kitab kate cho, or sometimes people would also say katta cho. Where is your book? Ahak ghar kaitam ach or kontam ach. So, where is your house? Both are used for where with slight variation in uses. So, let us do a quick practice of these. Kekar kitab ach, kinkar ghar namhar ach. Kekar kitab ach would mean whose book is this. Kinkar ghar namhar ach would mean whose house is big. Namhar means big or bigger. E kathik banal ach. So, here kathik is of what, banal is made. So, of what is this made? Ete katek pani ach. How much water is here? Ahak bag kaitam ach. Where is your bag? Kekar juta bahar paral ach. So, with this we come to the end of lesson number 6.4. We will meet again in the next lesson of basic course in Maithili. Thank you.